Hey, I'm Kevin, and this is Tractors in Life. Hey, I was looking so forward to making this video. I really was. This is kind of a fun one. I'm going to share what we call hacks, shortcuts, better ways of doing things you had not thought of, and I'm going to pass that information along to you. I'm no genius. Most of these things I learned from somebody else and just want to pass them along. And I think a good hack is when you're watching and you go, man, that's a good idea. That's what I hope you guys say a few times through this video. Some of it, you guys are, who doesn't know that? Well, at one point or another, the things that I'm going to show you, I didn't know, and I've learned. I might not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I don't think I'm any dummy either. Hopefully you guys find value in this. What I really, really wish, first, like always, give me your feedback. You know, am I off the mark? Am I right on, hit the nail on the head? But also any hacks that you guys might have. Maybe we'll do a follow-up video to it with all of your hacks. I've always said, having a YouTube channel is better than Google, because if I want to know something, I ask you guys. And I get a response from the actual doers, guys that are out there working with this equipment in their shop and on their property and what have you, and I value that above any Google response I might get. So sit back and enjoy this, and let's get to work. So if you watched our last video, we were talking about tools. And when I went back and edited the video and I saw what was in my drawer with my channel locks and pliers and needle nose, I was kind of surprised. I just hadn't noticed it before. So you can see, especially on the channel locks, the amount of rust. And the reason for that is quite simple. My barn is not heated on a full-time basis. It's not insulated, and there's no vapor barrier, which are all things that I intend on correcting. But in the meantime, my tools are rusting. Matter of fact, take a look at this. You can see up here where I have the sockets. Everything there seems to be in pretty good shape. A little bit on the 12 points, but especially on these Allen sockets. I mean, you can take a look at this right here and see the amount of rust on that. So what am I going to do about it? Well, let me show you. So this is going to be a 3-step process, and Ospho is number 1. Let's grab these channel locks right here. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to treat them. And I'm going to treat them with Ospho. A while back I did a video on this Ospho. It's a rust converter, and it converts rust to phosphate. And then over time, it actually grows zinc phosphate. So, scraping the tools and what have you, treating them, it's only going to do so much, because the systemic problem here that I have in the barn is the amount of moisture. And I got a feeling some of you guys have the same issue. So let's start with that. You don't need a lot. So I'm just coating it rather liberally with the Ospho, and here in a few minutes, you're gonna see the difference. Okay, so this tool's ready. So I'm gonna expedite a little bit by drying it off so I can show you guys the next step. Ideally, you let this set for 24 hours. And although, just take a look at some of the rust that's already disappeared, has already just wiped off by my doing this. Tool already looks better just doing that. This is STA-BIL rust stopper. Yeah, and by the way, this and any of the products that you see in this video, I'm gonna put a link in the description. Not a lot of money, got it from Amazon. So I'm just going to spray a coating on it. Let's do a little experiment with this Ospho. So here is a badly rusted piece of sheet metal, and I'm going to put Ospho in, I don't know, like a third of it. All right, so you saw me put some Ospho on our test piece. Take a look at the results. So this is how the original piece looked. And this is after me letting it set for 24 hours. I think that's pretty clear results. You could see that what it does is it turns the thicker rust black, and this is part of the process with Ospho. So yeah, this is why I believe in it so much. So two different products. The first is Camphor, and the second are Desiccant packets. What Camphor does is it slowly evaporates in an enclosed space, like a toolbox. And then what it does is it releases fumes that form a thin, oily, protective film on the tools or whatever else that you're trying to prevent rust on. It repels moisture, and then it limits the electrochemical reactive, which causes rust. So, yeah, I'm hoping that this is going to provide some benefit to me. So the second product are these Color Dot Desiccant packets. So if you're not familiar with desiccants, they contain silica gel. Also some bentonite clay and what are called molecular sleeves. This again helps to absorb moisture. So you might be saying, well, geez, you know, how long are they going to last? Well, here's the good thing about this product. You can see up here, it's reusable. So what you can do is actually recharge the desiccant packets by putting them in the microwave. And they've got on the back here some instructions on how to do that. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to put them mostly in enclosed spaces as they recommend, and then we'll see what happens. So let's go out to the truck. I want to show you something. So I think it's kind of funny that these modern conveniences that we have, for some of us, like me, we just really depend on now. And one for me is the backup camera. It's kind of like, I don't know how we did without them, you know, hooking up a trailer or parking in a tight spot. So here's my backup camera right now. Now, a little difficult to tell, but you can see it's very cloudy, and it would be a lot worse, but I just had the truck washed yesterday. During the wintertime, especially when there's snow and salt on the road, it just gets to where it's almost unusable. So I got a fix for that. So this is a product that we're all familiar with. It's the original Rain-X. I know a lot of guys that actually put this on their windshields to kind of repel water, because that's what this product is so good for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the lens, and then I'm going to put a light coating of the Rain-X on it, and I'm telling you, I'm good for a month. No matter how bad the weather is, it'll keep shedding, and it'll allow me to see out that backup camera. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is clean it, and I've just got a clean shop towel. It's not that dirty. If it is, obviously you could just use Windex for it. But now what I'm going to do, again with another clean shop towel, is I'm going to put some Rain-X on here. And then I'm just going to wipe it on. So we'll let that dry for a few minutes and then kind of buff it off. And I'll take you in and show you what the rear view camera looks like after this. All right, so that has dried. And now we're just going to kind of buff it off. I'm not pressing too hard. I just want to get rid of the streaks. So let's go ahead and start the truck and take a look at the difference. The difference is pretty dramatic. It really is. I mean, that is crystal clear right now. So you're saying, hey, well, yeah, it's crystal clear right now because you just cleaned it. But I'm telling you, it will stay that way for at least a month. That's been my experience. You know, again, it's just something that we depend on because we have had these in our vehicles for quite some time. And, you know, I'm going to do the same thing to Tessa's Jeep so that she's got that clear, and that way she's safer. So I'm curious, how many of you guys, old guys like me, that are becoming blind as a bat, have an issue checking your hydraulic fluid? Hydraulic fluid is ultra clear, and sometimes it's very, very difficult to see exactly where on the dipstick the fluid is. Kind of the same thing for the axle fluid as well, but more so for me, the issue is the hydraulic fluid. Let me show you what my system is like. So if I pull out the dipstick, that's what I look at. You can see the red color, see if that comes in focus. And it just makes it very, very easy to see. So how did I do that? With this product. Now I got this on Amazon. I think it was like 10 bucks or something like that. It is a John Deere product, but it's available at generic products as well. But a little bit of this in the sump. I did it, if you saw our videos where I changed my hydraulic fluid, I put this in, and it's just quick and easy. I'm all about things be easy. That's what these hacks are. There's nothing life-changing, but it just makes your life a little easier. Did you ever have a product come out and you look at it and you say, geez, that is so simple, why didn't I think of that? And I could have made $1 million. Well, that's what this product is. This is a T-post remover. And you know, when you get T-posts in the ground, it can be very, very difficult to remove. I mean, you could try wiggling it back and forth. You can hook a chain up to your bucket and pull it out that way, in which case, a lot of times you destroy the T-post. Or you can use this. The way this works, a chain goes through here, locks in up here. This goes around the T-post. As you're seeing in this video, and it pulls the post up. Again, an Amazon purchase. I'll put the link in the description. Not a lot of money. I keep it in my toolbox when I'm out doing jobs or here on the property, and I use it all the time. It's great. It really, really is. So do you snow plow, or either with a bucket like I do, or a back blade, front blade, angling blade, or a snow blower? You're gonna want this product. This is called Snow Jet. Again, I'll have the link in the description. This works fantastic. It really does. It's almost like putting Teflon on your implement. Now, one thing that's made a huge difference for me this year is I painted the bucket in the fall. But it's already getting some nicks and scratches on it. I've done quite a bit of plowing this year. If you watch our channel, you've seen that. But now what I'm gonna do is, now I did not initially put Snow Jet on when the season started because the bucket was freshly painted. I just didn't think I was gonna need it, and I was right, it was shedding snow great. But again, I'm starting to see right now where it is holding onto some snow. So I'm gonna put a coat of Snow Jet on it right now, just shook it up good. So you'll be able to tell. You guys know we release quite a few snow plowing videos. In the upcoming videos, you'll be able to see up close and personal how well this Snow Jet works in the way that it just helps snow to slide off. And I don't know this to be fact, but I would think it's a pretty good rust inhibitor as well. It is an oil-based material. So just an awful lot of benefits for just a little bit of money. Hey, along those same lines of, geez, I should have thought of that. How about this? This goes on the end of your pressure washer. And hey, more's better, right? 2 for the price of 1. Just kind of speeds up the work that you're doing and gives you 2 adjustable nozzles, high pressure nozzles. And it's great for washing the equipment. It really is. Again, I'll put the link in the description. This is, you gotta have this. So for this hack, a lot of you guys are gonna already know about this. I'm gonna refer to a video that we did just a little bit ago. On the end of my DeWalt grease gun is the LockNLube. It just makes greasing so much easier. You press the little tab, it locks on the Zerk fitting and holds it in place. You know, sometimes you're not always greasing just your loader, right? Sometimes, at least on my tractor, I'm underneath and I'm greasing that those hard to get U-joint grease fittings. This makes it great. I'm laying on my back. I'm just able to lock it on and then depress the grease gun. Very, very simple. I'll put the link in the description. Not a lot of money. Just makes your life easier. Hey, so sometimes you see YouTube creators will show you a product or two and tell you it's great, but you know, you really don't have any proof that it does work as they say it does. Well, this, I do have proof. Concerning this mower deck, fluid film. Every year, I clean the bottom of my deck, and then I paint it, and then I put fluid film on it. So we did this like 2 years ago, and introduced it to you guys, and there were a lot of favorable comments on it. But I think what was more convincing is we did a follow-up about a year later, after the end of the growing season, where I had to scrape the bottom of the deck, and I was able to demonstrate just how easily everything came off the bottom of the deck. Plus the fact it's a rust inhibitor as well. I think when you clean your deck, which is important to do, by the way, taking the time to put this on. Actually, the year before last, I didn't even repaint that year. I just cleaned everything, pressure washed it, and put fluid film on it, and just worked great. Sheds easier, but most importantly, it cleans up easier. Take a look at the video, and here's the results. So a lot of our viewers really seem to like the way that I maintain my equipment. And one of the things, you know, I've explained in the past, I'm not a rich guy. This is an expensive tractor. For me it is, and I like to take care of it. So one of the things that I do each fall is I undercoat the tractor. And that's what this video is showing. I use the product called LPS3. It's important that it's LPS3, not 1 or 2, because it coagulates, it almost solidifies, it won't drip and make a mess of your garage floor. If you used a thinner product, it certainly would. And I could tell you that I have 0 rust underneath this tractor. And keep in mind, we're outside of Buffalo, New York, if you're not already aware. We get a lot of snow. And when I do the driveway, I am bringing salt into my own driveway by virtue of the town plow. And then I store it. Again, I don't have heat or water in this barn, so I pressure wash the tractor before the season. It won't get pressure washed again until probably April. So that salt can sit on there all winter long, and we all know what salt does to metal. So taking the time to apply the LPS3. Now, in the video, I'm using a sprayer that I got from Amazon. You don't have to. You could put it on with a tank sprayer or even a little handheld one. So I've even used it on some of the attachments before. LPS3. So here's one that you may not have thought of. We've got tractor, skid steer, excavator, whatever hydraulic equipment that you have, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have to replace a line. And when you do that, it can be messy. Or you can use these hydraulic plugs. You can see I've got them in 3 different sizes. And this is just out of my hydraulic test kit. And what you would do is you would plug it with one of these plugs so that as you're working, it's not continuing to leak and drip all over everything. Not a lot of money. Amazon, I'll put the link in the description. I've got the 3 different sizes that I can use. And hey, if you never need it, you're luckier than me that you don't have a hydraulic problem. But in the event that you do have one, it's nice not to be able to make a mess. Hey, remember a minute ago when I was talking about my eyesight and the hydraulic fluid? Well, yeah, it's just part of getting older, right? So the other day I was looking at the new welder that a company had sent me, and on the back they've got some specifications, amperage and what have you. It's about this big. I had my glasses on, a flashlight. I still couldn't read it. So I went out and I bought this. This is a lit magnifying glass. And you can see it's got various settings on here. Also has a USB charging cable that comes with it. But this thing's fantastic. I mean, it really is. Allows me to look at fine print and anything, or if I'm doing something, maintenance-wise that I want to, be able to see in. This is great. Or, I'm checking for a leak. Maybe I did a hydraulic repair. Hey, if you're over 50, and I'm over 50, I know a lot of you thought I was like 25, but I'm not. This makes a lot of sense. For me, it sure does. So with all the maintenance that we all have to do with all of our equipment, this is probably something you may not have thought about, at least I didn't, until I had a problem with the back garage door. And the company came out that originally had installed it, and they were just fantastic guys. And they asked me about maintenance. You know, aren't you guys embarrassed, at least I am, when somebody asks me about maintenance, like what are you doing for maintenance? And the answer is nada, nothing. And I had not done anything on these garage doors or the one in the house. This product is a 3-in-1 garage lube. It's made specifically for garage doors, springs and rollers and what have you. I'm told you do not want to use WD-40 on this. And doing the maintenance on the garage door is probably 5 minutes for each door. And then you also, on the carrier, you want to lube it. Now for the rollers, they specifically said not to do the track. Some rollers have an actual little opening here in the top where you can shoot your fluid in there. These do not. So I'm just going along the sides. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm making a mess, I don't care. And anywhere there's metal to metal, this is pretty important up here where your cable winds. You know, rusted cable is not good, as we all know. Gonna saturate it. So again, it's a 3-in-1 product. Got it from Amazon, and it's called Garage Door Lube. It's important to do. And these doors are expensive. So here's something that's pretty darn important and is more on the side of preventative maintenance. What you're doing is trying to prevent a major issue. As we all know, these front axle seals on these tractors have a tendency to leak. And the reason that they leak is because you've got a full load in the bucket, a heavy load, you hit a bump, and what it'll do is it'll blow by the seals and cause seals to leak. So this is an axle vent. I don't believe is available through Amazon. I will put the information in the instructions though. You know, I think it was like $100. Probably took 10 minutes to install. But it's a vent, and it vents up here behind this access door that you can't see. So if that happens, where you hit a bump and you increase pressure on the axle, it'll blow by here rather than your seals. So as you've probably seen before, I run a torpedo heater in here. I fuel it with diesel. And they tell you that you're supposed to put it in a ventilated space. Well, the barn is 30 by 40 with 16-foot ceiling. Sometimes I'll leave the man door open. I'm really not sure if I'm ventilating it enough. You know, I don't want to have a video of me croaking. So I got these. I've actually got 2 of them, and they are CO2 detectors. It gives you the level in the barn, and so it kind of takes the guesswork out of it. Is this a hack? I don't know. I just do think it is something that's really rather important if you're doing, you know, anything with heaters, or you know, if you're running your tractor while you're working on it. I've done that too. Just think, well, it's a short time, and just going to run a little bit. Once again, I've got one detector on the south side and one on the north side of the barn, so it just kind of takes the guesswork out of it. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Once again, please give me your comments. I think I'm off base on some of these things, but most important, tell me your hacks. What have you learned by being a person that's out and active and working on equipment in a shop? I'd love to share it with our viewers. Thank you so much for joining us. God bless you all, and we will see you next time on Tractors in Life.